In this video, we're going to learn how to find the area of a circle. So remember, area, unlike the hula hoop, which would be like the circumference, area is the whole inner space. So like the frisbee, where you're finding all that inner stuff too. So we're going to do an activity in class where we figure out how the formula works for area of a circle. For right now, though, I'm going to give you the formula so you can get started on memorizing it and get some practice using it. So the formula is, drumroll please, the area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. So if we were to take the radius of a circle, let's say it was 5, and then we were to square it, giving us 25, which also, if you're a visual person, is the same as finding the area of this square, right? 25. And then if we were to multiply that by pi, which is 3.14, that will give us the total area of the circle. And if you look at it, it should sort of seem reasonable that it would take 3 of these, and then we get to throw this extra stuff in there, we get to throw this extra stuff in there, this extra stuff too, and that's still not quite enough. We would need 1.4 more in order to fill up this last section there. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but I feel like I can sort of visualize it. And when we do that, we get 78.5. And I never really gave us units, so we'll say units. And this is a measurement of area, so it should be squared. All right, let's do a couple more examples. All right, I'd like you to pause the video and try and find the area of a circle that has a radius of 10 centimeters. Do it now. When you're doing a problem like this, I would really encourage you to always write down the formula first. That way, when I'm looking at your work, it's really easy for me to make sure that you are using the right formula. Because a lot of the times when people make mistakes, it's because they're trying to use the wrong formula. So then once you have it written down, then you can just copy it again, but with the numbers in place. So instead of pi, we'll use 3.14. And instead of r, we'll use 10, and we'll square it. And then order of operations says that we square before we multiply. So 3.14 times 100. And I don't even need to do that long multiplication because I know that that's going to give me 314 because it'll just move the decimal. And so that would be centimeters squared. Now, I don't know if you've noticed that I like to do a kind of a squiggly equal sign, and that's because I'm using 3.14, and so my answer is only approximate. It's not exact because pi is irrational, and we've cut off that decimal. We haven't used all the decimal places, which would be impossible. Let's try another one. This time, let's say we have a circle that has a diameter of 1 foot. Go ahead and pause, see if you can figure out the area of the circle. So once again, I'm going to start by writing my formula, but this time I wasn't given the radius, I was given the diameter. So I'm just going to draw in the radius there, which would be 0.5. So that means what I'm really trying to do is pi times 0.5 squared. And 0.5 squared happens to be 0.25. So then we can do that, which gives us an area of approximately 0.785. And that was feet squared. Now let's look at how I might try and make this a little bit tricky. So I'd like you to try and find the area of the darker shaded region. So that would be all those corners added up. So the way I'm going to do this problem is I'm going to find the area of the square, and then I'm going to subtract the area of the circle. So first, I know that if the radius of the circle is 3, then the diameter of the circle must be 6 centimeters, which means that the square must be a 6 by 6. So the area of the square is 6 times 6, or 36 centimeters squared. Then I need to do the area of the circle. So that was a radius of 3, so pi times 3 squared, which is 9. And then of course I'm going to subtract once I figure these things out. So I'm doing 36 minus 28.26, which gives me 7.74 centimeters as my total area of the darker shaded region. All right, for your practice problem, I want you to find the area of the circle that has a diameter of 8 inches.